This is the MTL where you'll be doing your final project, and this is a video showing you how to turn everything on that you will need in the room. You won't be using this color source AV lighting console, but that's what's in the room. And also right by the doors are light controls, so you can turn on the house lights when you come in. These are not automatic like other rooms, so when you leave, you do need to turn them off, please. Notice as I'm walking around that the room is very clean. The chairs are stacked on the sides. Please make sure the room is clean when you leave. To access the lighting rig for this class, you'll need to open the curtains on either side. The lighting board, the Geo, as well as the Mac that'll run the QLab is on a rolling cart stored in the back here. So I'm going to pull that out. I now have the rolling cart out here in the middle of the room. You can see there are a couple monitors attached to the desk. We want to uncover the two monitors and the Geo. And you want to recover them when you're done, please. And set this on the table for now. And we're looking at the back side of the cart. On the left-hand side is a red power cable. You can pull that off or just as much as you need in order to get to a power outlet. I would recommend plugging into the battery backup that is located on this other lighting cart. Please make sure you plug into one of these slots on the right. The slots on the left are not battery protected in case the power were to go out. You'll also need to unplug the cable with the purple tape, which is a network cable from the back of the other lighting console. There is a tab on the top that you need to push down in order for that to come loose. The cable may be coiled on the floor there, so pull out whatever excess you need. Bring that over to the Geo's lighting cart. And on the back in the middle here, you'll see some other network cables plugged in. You can plug this into any available slot, and you should see a green light come up if it's working. All right, we're back at the front of the desk. Now you can push the power button on the top right. There's also a USB slot here, which will allow you to plug in your USB stick to transfer your show file over. To turn the Mac Mini on, there's a button on the back right corner you want to push, and you'll hear the Mac boot up chime. The keyboard, mouse, and monitor on this side of the desk are for the Mac. There is a keyboard and mouse for the Geo on the bottom, as well as the two internal monitors and the extra monitor externally. When the Geo boots up, you'll see it automatically launch into primary. If it doesn't, you can click on the primary button there. And once EOS loads, this will look just like your Nomad offline editor. Notice the house lights did go off. As soon as a light board is plugged into the network, it has control of the house lights. So this first fader on the left is assigned to house lights by default, or you can find them located on the magic sheet. To log into the Mac on the right, you'll log in just like in class. So if it's your first time up here, you'll have to log in with your network credentials. Make sure you put your whole @buckeyemail.osu.edu in to log in this way. If you've already logged in, you can click on local login at the bottom and type in just your name, number, and your password. This will log in. And you will need to open QLab and either load in a saved show file that you made earlier with your time code and sound MP3 linked together, or you can build your own show here by going down to the dock and clicking on QLab. If you don't see that there, remember you can do Command space and start typing in QLab, and that will boot up. You can see here that this is licensed for lighting. So this will be ready to go and will have no problem opening up any workspaces that you've saved. When you do save your show, I'm gonna ask everyone to please make sure that you save it in the shared folder. So to get there, we're going to need to click on any one of these folders on the left that relates to our user. So documents is good. And then if you hit Command up on the keyboard, do that once and you are in your user folder. There's my name.number. And if you do that again, Command up, you will see a shared folder. And within here, you see a program class folder. So here is where you should put your final QLab file so that we can all access our shared files together without having to switch between logins. To load your show on the Geo, stick your thumb drive into the Geo here. You need to hit Displays, which is on the top left on this board, and that'll open up your CIA. You'll go to File, Open, and this only shows the show file archive, but if I plug in a flash drive, then your flash drive name should pop up there. Hit Select down here by your arrow keys. Go down to your show file for this class, which should be named 5899 final with your name, and open that up. I'm going to open up the base file. You can continue without saving because whoever was in here last would have been responsible for saving their own show. I'm going to load everything, so we'll hit OK. And now we've loaded the file off of the flash drive, but it's not saved to the console here. To do that, we can just do Shift Update. And now we're running a version that is saved on the console. So you can now take out your flash drive and take that back with you. If you have any other questions about programming or run into any issues, you can try contacting me and I will help you as best as I can. Please make sure you're reviewing all of the materials on our Carmen site and on the ETC's YouTube links that I provided in the lecture notes to help you go along. One thing I did not show you on the Geo is how to turn on the power for the lights. Make sure you're using the correct mouse like I just did. Underneath the desk, we're gonna click on the plus on any screen. We're gonna open up a magic sheet if it's not already, tab number 3. And you want the first magic sheet in your file. I think some of the others have it too, but definitely on the first in the bottom right corner is a hot power on and a hot power off. You wanna press the green hot power on button and you'll see lights will flash as they turn on. You'll hear fans start to run. You'll hear moving lights start to home. Do a little dancing jig for you. Some of them take longer than others, but once they're ready, you'll be able to control them from the light board. So if I say 101 through 119, full enter, that's all of our lights up the side. I'm gonna take those out for now. And then when you're done at the end of the day, you should power them off. So you want to hit the red button for hot power off. It's gonna pop up a big screen that gives you 10 seconds to say, are you sure? Because maybe you hit this by mistake. We are sure, so we're gonna hit yes, power off. And you'll hear everything get very quiet, and that means the lights are powered off. If I were shutting this down for real, I would also want to pull down the house light fader. If you leave the house lights on or any lights on, they will stay on for 3 minutes before they shut off. So if you want to be able to control them from the wall, you'll want to pull that fader down before you do the shutdown. And one thing I didn't show you on the QLab computer before we shut down, when you have your time code Q ready, the little clock icon here, you will need a MIDI port set up, which we haven't done yet. So you'll want to click on the settings down at the bottom, the little gear icon. You want to go to the MIDI tab. You want to add a new MIDI patch. We did this before and used bus 1, but we don't want it internal. We want it to go out to the lighting desk. So we want to use port A on the Mo2. So click on port A and click done. And now any timecode key that you've already made will not have something patched, or it may have bus 1 patched, so you'll need to change that. Click on unpatch for MIDI patch and go down to patch number 1, port A, Mo2. The little red X disappears beside the Q, meaning it should be able to run now. So if we hit go, and we've got our big timecode clock open in the window there, and you can see it's already chasing timecode here in the console. So if you follow those steps, you'll be able to sync your lights with your sound. But for now, we're gonna shut down, so we're gonna quit. Make sure you save. If you're doing this for real, shut down is Apple menu, down to the shutdown button. It'll give you a pop-up, are you sure? You'll say shut down. And then shutting down the console, we're gonna need to go back to our CIA, so we'll hit displays. And we were in the open and save before, so we wanna hit left a bunch to get all of those trees collapsed. Down to power off. Select, are you sure? Okay. Select again, it'll shut down. You'll know the Mac is turned off when there's no little white light on in the front corner. And you'll know that the Geo is off when the blue light goes out on the power button. There we go. Now it's safe to unplug the power, coil that up neatly, and put that back on the cart. It's also safe to unplug the network cable, coil that up neatly, and plug that back into the other light board. Remember to push down on the button at the top to get it to come out. Come over to the other light board. Slide that into the only slot it fits in on the back. And again, you should see green and yellow lights. Make sure this cable gets coiled up. I'm not going to do that on camera. Also make sure that the Geo gets put back in the corner, that the curtains get closed, that the room is cleaned up, and that the house lights are turned off from the wall before you leave. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.